Prince Edward Island's Fall Flavors is presented by Sobeys.
Fortune Harbour, Prince Edward Island, one of our island's many busy fishing ports. This is where our lobster fleet, early in the morning, heads out to sea for the promise of the catch. Hi, I'm Chef Michael Smith, and welcome to Fall Flavors Online. Captain Dennis McNally knows how to get up early. 4 a.m., 6 days a week, his boat sets out to sea to pull 45 sets of 6 traps each, 272 traps, and 8 hours later, they head for home. Some days are beautiful, some days are miserable, but every day he represents the legions of fishermen who come home safely with the day's catch. Lobsters prefer a rocky bottom. They like hiding in all those little nooks and crannies down there, and that's why we're fishing the water here. You can see just behind me that point of land. Well, it would have stuck all the way out here 1,000 years ago, and that rocky bottom is where the lobsters are. Show us how it works. What do we got here?
Well, we take advantage of the lobsters being territorial. So when the trap goes down, we have our bait in the middle.
And for bait, we're using?
Today we're using the silverside bait, which is caught right here in Surrey. And there's mackerel, which is caught and frozen here in Surrey, and some fresh Gaspereau caught this year.
Got it.
So the combination of the bait puts out a scent in the water. The lobsters can sense it, and when they come to the trap, they stumble around a little bit until they find the hole in the ring. They'll come in through the ring to the bait, and they'll sit in here and have a light snack until the next lobster comes. And while that one's in here, the next one comes in. Might be a quick fight. One of them might get startled, and they'll go backwards through your heads.
Ah, they go backwards, of course. See how they get stuck in here? So this is called the parlor, right?
That's right, yep.
And there's no way they're ever getting back out through there, so now they're stuck.
Now they're stuck, yep.
This is another extremely important conservation measure. This is a female lobster, and because of its size, it's in the prime of its life. It's laying a whole lot of eggs, and these are the lobsters that regenerate the entire species around us. So this lobster has been measured, it fits the criteria, which means it's going back to live another day. Lobsters are actually very aggressive. They're predators. And if they don't have these blue rubber bands protecting those claws, they'll actually eat each other. But putting these on is one thing. Taking them off is quite another. Captain Dennis McNally, thanks for taking us out to sea today. Learned lots. But I do have one more question for you, and it's the most important one of the day. How do you cook a lobster?
I have to admit, my focus is catching the lobsters. So when it comes time to cooking them, I pull in my resources. I call my father, and he comes down to the wharf and he picks them up. And we have a lot of discussion on what's the best way of doing it, but one thing we always agree on, it has to be fresh seawater.
Sure.
Seawater first, and then the debate starts. How long do they go? How long do they boil for? Take them out, turn them upside down, more salt water. It seems to be an art, but at the end of the day, they're always enjoyed.
Awesome. And any debate about butter?
Butter or vinegar? I go with the butter.
Okay, and I'm going with butter too. See you in the kitchen. The first step to cooking a lobster is to get those rubber bands back off. Dennis put them on, but you've got to take them off. And here's how you do it. Grasp the claws firmly. You're safe. Cross them over like that. Just like that. See how I'm holding that? Crossed over and safe. And then with your other hand, slip off the rubber band. It really is that simple. There we go. Off they come, because you don't want to cook lobsters with rubber bands. They end up tasting like rubber bands. Not a good thing to do. There we go. And then, of course, boiling seawater. Melted butter with lobster is absolutely essential. But hey, I'm a chef. I can do a lot more than just melt butter, and so can you. Check it out. Butter is about 85% fat, about 10 or 12% moisture, and a couple percentage points of milk fat solids. And so when you melt the butter and cook away that water, the fat that stays behind actually starts to brown those solids, and boy, oh boy, do they taste good. As you melt the butter, keep an eye on it. The steam that it generates will create quite a foam in the butter. Watch that foam, swirl it a bit, make sure it's not browning yet, because when it does, you've got to be ready. Keep an eye on the color. See that beautiful brown color that's emerging? That is flavor. But it also wants to turn black very quickly. So take it off the heat and be ready to shock it with lemon juice. The lemon juice takes the heat out of the butter so it doesn't overcook, so it doesn't become black butter. For a pound of butter, I usually squeeze in 2 lemons. One last touch, just a drop or 2 of your favorite hot sauce. And there it is, spicy lemon brown butter. Let's see how the lobster turned out. 12 minutes after the water returns to the boil, the lobster is done cooking. And now, time for some ice water. It's time to eat. Dennis and his team work incredibly hard. They're up at 3 o'clock in the morning steaming out to sea. It's a nice office, but it's not always a sunny day out there. And this is what's often missing from our understanding of food is the story behind it. Because every single one of those ingredients that we love, that we look forward to, that we just can't wait to have another one, every single one comes with a human being story. Somebody got up early in the morning and went to work. And that's what it's all about here on Prince Edward Island. We're surrounded by those somebodies, hardworking folks pulling together the best food on the planet. This is Food Island.
Proudly presented by Sobeys. At Sobeys, we have a proud history of working with local growers and producers. We always buy from local growers first and work extensively with them to offer our customers a wide selection of local products. Sobeys is incredibly inspired by our community partners and their unwavering commitment to their respective communities.